Was recreated in Fortnite Creative by this awesome creative team that call themselves Atlas Creative.
Legendary like my birthplace, it's my time like my birthday. Born ready in the first place, it's a marathon, run your race. Don't stop, keep going, I'm up early, don't sleep on them. I'm living out my dreams and my legacy. For the life of me, I'm good, and I go get it. You don't got it, I came with it. Number one now, take a spot in the crown. I'm sucker free, game great and I'm on top. When it's free and my energy is on another level and I won't stop. No, I came in to leave a legacy. No one can change my destiny. Nobody. I'm standing up so the world can see. And I came to leave a legacy.
Hello Michael, how are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm fine, but not so good as you because you just came from your holidays, isn't you?
I did, yes, and I would love to be back, but excited to get back to work.
Already. All right, I would say that long time no see, but I would lie, obviously, because I met your friends instead of you before we are talking today. But it was awesome to meet your crew from Atlas Creative Studios. So it was a pleasure. So let's talk about all that stuff that you're doing for a living. What is it exactly? Because it sounds really mysterious, maybe not so mysterious because I'm a marketer too, like you, as far as I heard from your colleagues, but it's still something that might be interesting for people who are not familiar with all that stuff that is happening right now around us about esport, and not only esport, but these different words, metaverse, etc. So you're doing for a living like helping people to build creative experiences in Fortnite. So what? The word around us is too boring for you?
Yeah, no, not at all. But yeah, I mean, I get to do some really amazing things at Atlas Creative, and I guess the best way to put it is we're half independent game studio and half marketing agency, kind of, just because a lot of what we do is just make really fun gameplay experiences for people within Fortnite. But the other side of it is we partner with brands and partner with different IP to find really flawless and smooth ways to bring them into Fortnite, and kind of give some exposure to their brand within the metaverse.
How it began with Atlas Creative Studio, because it's a young brand, and like I already mentioned, you're half marketer, but also you're passionate about gaming.
Yeah, it has been a whirlwind since we started, but a really great whirlwind. Me and my co-founder Jordan, we both were doing separate things. He was actually going to school for architecture design, and I was in marketing. And during my free time, I would play Fortnite, would play other video games, and really fell in love with Fortnite. And then they released the tools to let people basically build their own games within Fortnite. And me and Jordan both had individual success, and we basically found a really great groove, and decided that if we wanted to take it the next step, we should really go all out and form this studio. And so about 2 years ago now, we formed Atlas Creative and did our first brand deal, and worked with Microsoft to recreate Halo within Fortnite. And little did we know, like, it would get shown on the Game Awards and would have the reception that it did. And now 2 years later, we've been able to grow our studio to now about 15 people. doing various things at Atlas, and it's just been an amazing ride.
Yeah, I bet it is. But you mentioned that you fell in love with Fortnite. What do you love the most in this game?
Yeah, I just love that really the sky's the limit. I can come to work every single day and get to work with people that I'm really fans of, and I just get to work with really talented people. But also, we get to just be creative, and we get to do and make really. Our brain is the only limit we have. Like we can really build whatever we want within Fortnite, and so I really love the creative aspect of that.
Okay, creative aspect. All right, so let's come back to the first example, first client that you mentioned, Microsoft. Could you tell us a little bit more about this project? What did you do for this brand? Did they come to you with the ready-made idea, or did you work together on it? How it happened, how it developed, and yeah, maybe let's stop here for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. So we worked alongside Microsoft and their team at Bungie, and also Epic Games, the creator of Fortnite. And we were basically brought the idea that they wanted to recreate one of their famous maps in Halo. They wanted to bring it over to Fortnite, and they did a full activation where they brought some of their IP through creative, but also released like skins in game where now you could play as Halo's Master Chief, but within Fortnite's Battle Royale. And so it was a little different of a process because it wasn't necessarily brainstorming something from scratch. We had the IP, we had we had the not necessarily the burden, but the responsibility of carrying the torch of an IP that we grew up loving, and I still love to this day. And so it was a really fun time of working with them to figure out how do we bring something that's so loved by so many people into a different space and do it really well.
Would you approach this project, I mean Microsoft and Halo, the same way today?
Oh, there are so many things that we've learned. So I would say probably not. I'm so proud of the product that we put out, and I still love it. But it was our first project, and we were learning so much. So I'm sure we would have a totally different experience if we were to do it again.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity to come back to this specific client to do something again, but differently, or was that one-time collaboration so far?
Yeah, so it was a one-time collaboration so far with the Microsoft side of things, but Epic Games were a really close partner with them and have gotten to work with them on a ton of different projects, which we absolutely love.
Yeah, I imagine that being so close to Epic Games is a really cool thing, because you get more clients, more brands eager to jump into this world in which you are some kind of expert right now. But the second client that your colleagues mentioned about during our conversation from the backstage, let's say, was the NBA. Anything about this project maybe? How different it was from the Microsoft project, the first one?
Yeah, it was extremely different just because we went from really recreating something to having to create something brand new. For that one, we ended up doing a hub, which is what players would load into in Fortnite. And then we also did a gameplay experience where you don't really have the tools yet in Fortnite to make a full out basketball game. So instead, we ended up creating a game where players would launch themselves out and be the ball themselves and dunk themselves through hoops. And so it was a lot of fun, just the ideation process of figuring out how to do it. I grew up as a Miami Heat fan and a huge NBA fan. So it was a dream collaboration. And it was way different than Microsoft, and I think both have their merits of the recreation side versus being able to do something brand new.
Yeah, I think that you're privileged because you can do what you like. You know, you're a marketer. First, you know, client Microsoft, but still in Fortnite ecosystem. The second one, NBA, and here you are, the fan of NBA. So it's a cool job, you know, you have. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
But Fortnite is one of the most popular games, but it's not only a game. And I bet that for people as you, this is also some kind of metaverse, some kind of platform and the market. And for many young people who are playing this game, it's also not only the game, it's the place, the environment where they meet friends. And how would you describe this target group? Because I think it's quite specific ones, Gen Z, but not only Gen Z. I think that these people have really well detected bullshit detector, but I think that you might say something more.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think the official thing that Fortnite has put out is the target audience is 16 to 24 is like the majority of players. But it also goes on both spectrums. If you have some younger and you have some players that are in their 30s, 40s, or beyond, and so it's hard for us sometimes to kind of keep all of that together and make sure that we're hitting all different types of audiences and keeping people happy because, like you said, people know what's authentic and people know what's inauthentic, and especially today when I feel like there's so many brands and so many advertisements being thrown at everyone. It can feel very addy, and if you just load in and see a bunch of different brand experiences that when you load in, it's just the brand thrown in your face, it's not going to be a good experience for the player.
All right. So what works for them and what doesn't? Simple question, based on your experience so far.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of times we see brands come in and they'll really kind of try to, let me back up. I think the best thing that works is when a brand can understand the audience and can understand what Fortnite as a platform is and wants to integrate themselves into it. The other end of that we've seen is some brands that will want to come in and they kind of have the preconceived ideas that this is how they want to do it, even if it's something that feels foreign to a Fortnite player. And so that really is like the game programming side of things that is huge, is if you can make a gameplay that actually feels like a good game loop and just happens to complement the brand. And then on the game design side of things, it is right there with it, where really like if you're throwing a 3D model of a giant brand in someone's face right when they load in, it's not the greatest in the world, but there's other situations where we've worked with iHeartMedia and like there's little things that really complement the brand where like the island is actually shaped like a heart, and you wouldn't necessarily see that when you first go in, but it does add a lot of brand value, plus the players are having a good time.
All right. Is it easy for non-endemic brands to enter this world, to understand, or to, I don't know, are they open-minded and do they listen to people like you guys from the agency, from the Atlas Creative Studio, who knows how it is, what works, what not? Or do they come with, you know, the, I don't know, imagined campaign and say to you that, hey, let's do this, you know, and we're going to pay you and you will do it or not?
Yeah, we've been blessed enough to have some of the, in my opinion, the best partners in the world. So we're really fortunate in that area. And we've had a lot of clients that have come in, and usually what I tell them is that they know their brand the best and they know their audience the best, and we know Fortnite really well. So if we can find a balance of you leveraging what you know and us leveraging what we know, then we're going to find something really sweet. But there are a ton of situations where we've seen other studios and other brands come into a space and it has felt inauthentic. And in their defense, it's the metaverse. I feel like I always do quotes, but it really doesn't even need to be quoted anymore. Like, it
Yeah.
is starting to become in front of our eyes. And it's a big learning curve. And I know that a lot of brands, it can be tricky to get in and to do it in an authentic way.
Does it for anybody or it isn't? Is it for anybody or it's not?
I would say
For
the
which kind
metaverse
of
is
brands
definitely,
wouldn't you recommend, entering this world?
yeah, I'm sure there's a spot in the metaverse for anyone, but for Fortnite specifically at this moment in time, we really love working with entertainment. We love working with fashion. We love working with um, things that just feel like a good fit. And there are some ones that I feel like in Fortnite we wouldn't take on a gambling company or a an alcohol brand just because of
Mm-hmm.
the target audience, and that would feel a little foreign. But for the most part, we've seen some really successful campaigns, even ones you wouldn't necessarily expect within Fortnite.
Yeah. How about going through these most successful campaigns that we know about them from the market, from the media, because the list is really long so far. And for example, I have on my list Balenciaga, Stranger Times, Moncler Skins, Travis Scott's Fortnite concert, Fortnite X Jumpman with Nike, Ferrari, and last but not least, Time Magazine March through Time. Which is your favorite one? Is it on that list or not?
Yeah, I would say out of that list, I really loved the Jumpman just because I'm a huge
Hmm.
Nike and Jordan fan.
Yeah.
But also I would say Time Magazine was really cool. A few of
That was
our creators,
unexpected, I think, from my opinion. It was something
yeah,
different than all that stuff that we already met in Fortnite.
yeah, exactly, and it really did break the status quo, and um, it was something that I feel like belongs in Fortnite because it's such a strong and powerful thing that people need to be aware of, and I think just in general the education aspect of what we can do in the metaverse and like educating people on different topics, that's really cool, and Time Magazine did that really well.
Yeah, that's true. Um, from what you are saying, it's more like I don't know, creating a dialogue between a brand and between the community, the users inside that world. How do you try to engage users and engage them creatively? Because you mentioned before that all that creative process chaos is the most, inspiring stuff in that work for you.
Yeah, for sure. So, being with a marketing background, I definitely am always looking at the stats and what is trending and what is actually speaking through numbers. So, a lot of it comes down to what are we seeing that is really working, and then understanding the why is it really working is probably the
Mm-hmm.
most important
Mm-hmm.
part. And
What
then
stands behind it? Mm-hmm.
exactly. And then finding the thread between that and how can we now make it our own and make it stand out and make it um, a unique experience that's different from what someone's going to see every day in Fortnite.
Okay. What does it mean for you, creating unique experiences? Could you deliberate about one favorite one? Maybe that one that you created with your clients on behalf of Atlas Creative Studio.
Yeah, for sure.
How much
NBA was a
unique you
really
have to be to go dive into this world?
Yeah, for sure. So the NBA was a good example of something really unique and something that people have
Mm-hmm.
never seen. I feel like in Fortnite, because there, like I was saying before, you kind of have to find that balance of like the cookie cutter. This is what works, and we know it's going to work. But then also you want to innovate and you want to find something. And so with NBA, for example, we found something really sweet where Fortnite is known for its battle royale. It's known for its weapons
Yeah.
and a lot of that, and that doesn't always align with brand experiences. And so we feel like we found a really unique and fun gameplay experience that really was just using the player and some fun mechanics that didn't involve weapons at all, which was a risk to take, but I feel like it paid off a ton.
Okay, that sounds really, really good. When I'm thinking about metaverse and what is happening right now, how many brands, but not only brands, but how many activities we do experience from the brands in the metaverse, I'm amazed, you know, because we have concerts, fashion shows, virtual shops. What else?
Yeah,
What
that's
else
a good
is
question.
going to happen, you know, because yeah, this is the beginning of a trend that will become mainstream, in your opinion, or not in the nearest, I don't know, 5 years.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be mainstream. I know there's studies that have been done that have kind of thrown out some stats of we're going to spend this much time in the metaverse by 2028, and it's honestly pretty shocking. And even being in this field, sometimes I'm like, there's no way, but it really is. That is definitely where we are trending, and I feel like iHeartMedia is a good example of we built out iHeartland for them, which is a fun experience that has mini games, but also we've already had 2 concerts within the space, and the kind of heartbeat behind that of why we wanted to do that and why iHeart wanted to do that is they know that they have so many exclusive experiences or experiences where they have music festivals and it costs a lot to go. And they thought it was the coolest thing in the world that they could throw a concert and it costs no money at all. And people can go and they can experience something and they can interact with an artist without ever having to spend a dime.
Yeah, so it was available for people. Among many things that this kind of collaborations can give you, I think that availability through the whole globe is something really precious here. Like, you know, we can be together in one and experience one thing at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that the pandemic, the pandemic time, made this faster?
I think so. I think it definitely did. I think the pandemic accelerated a ton of things. Like I don't think it would be as comfortable to work from home. I don't think people would be. Yeah, I think there were a lot of things that were probably going to happen either way, but it definitely was. I think I heard someone call it the great accelerator. And so I think it plays into the gaming side of things too. People were home, people didn't have anything to do. There were people that were avid gamers that were spending more time in games. There were people that never gamed at all that they were like, what am I supposed to do? I can't go out. Let's pick up a game. And so I think it definitely accelerated it. And it has been a crazy few years for gaming.
Yeah, how much crazy for you? Do you still think about it as a crazy stuff, or it's, you know, normal for you today?
Yeah, it's a good mix. I feel like I have to always kind of remind myself of where I was a few years ago. And I get to go to work every day and do my dream job. So I'm crazy thankful for it. And I think that I do. I'm like, I don't believe this at sometimes. I'm like, I get to do this for a living and I get to build something that the metaverse is such a big thing that it could be. And to be at the forefront of that is something I'll forever be grateful for.
Yeah. Last time I experienced the slight, you know, side of the story was me participating in League of Legends Championship, European Championship in Malmo this year, and I was so amazed, you know, with the atmosphere. And on the other hand, I was amazed with that all that stuff that I still treat as old good, you know, marketing, because it was just wrapped in the new way for me, like, you know, all these experiences that we have with good traditional sport transmissions in TV, you know, but on the other hand, the way the organizers could engage the audience was totally different, totally amazing, and much more higher than I see in traditional sport. So the question to you, is it all good marketing in a new wrap-up, or is it really something new, you know, or just new tools? Like for me, this is my humble opinion, but we can fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's, it's interesting because coming from a marketing background, I used to have a budget and we would spend on billboards and impressions and all of this stuff. And everything was based on really quick moments, what it felt like, and not very engaging marketing. And I think a lot of traditional marketing is like that. And now I get to tell our clients that, like, we literally usually have 15 to 25-minute average playtime. So not only are you building something that can be great for press and can be awesome on that side of things, but also you're building something that there's no other marketing where you can literally get one of your audience to engage for 25 minutes at a time in an authentic way.
Yeah, that's true. But is it more like about the story about building brand awareness? So the first stage of the funnel, and I know that you know what I'm talking about because we are both marketers, but on the other hand, we have this temptation to talk about conversion, about sales, and all that kind of impact. And I feel, I really do, that all that collaborations that we see right now, you know, with the brands that we mentioned before during our conversation, that this is all about brand awareness and maybe consideration phase, but not that closing one. It's not about sales pushy content. It's rather about building the dialogue and creating the community and jumping into this community with your key message or something like this, saying hello to new people in the new world.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point, and I think we're seeing brands kind of do it a lot for brand awareness and to build a community around their brand, which then leads down the funnel. But you're definitely right, and with Fortnite right now, there really isn't a great conversion method just because you're not allowed to link outside of the game and you're not allowed to actually sell goods outside of the item shop. But I do think the way we're going with Fortnite is there might be a day where we're working with, we'll use Balenciaga, for example. Balenciaga comes in and there's a play where they literally are selling stuff in game, but then you also get shipped something to your house, or you get a physical item and a digital item. And so I think the sky is going to be the limit, but we're definitely not there quite yet.
Yeah, today before our conversation, I had the conversation with Jacqueline Hugh from Zen, and we are talking about NFT. So something close to it, but a little bit different. But again, there was the same summary. We need to have something physical and something digital. Like, it's the story about having both of this, not, you know, only one stuff. But coming to the conclusion, because you mentioned at the very beginning that you are all about the creativity. So I know that this is something familiar to you, and your colleagues were telling me that story, and they were literally telling me that, hey, ask him about future of creativity. Where is this all hitting? You know. So I'm asking you about this because I think that might be good summary of our conversation today. Where is it going?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, It's hard to say. I feel like I talk about it all the time, which is probably why they're telling you to ask that. I'm glad they're not too sick of it just yet. But I think it is amazing. I think specifically for Atlas Creative, we see ourselves growing into a full-fledged game studio that can compete with the best of them. And I feel like we feel like Fortnite as a platform and Unreal Engine as a platform is really has a pretty strong hold in the future of where we're going in the metaverse, and so we're really excited to be a part of it. We see us growing a ton. We see us expanding even outside of Fortnite. I don't think one platform is going to be able to do it all by themselves. Not Fortnite's not going to create the metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg's not going to create the metaverse. I think it's going to definitely need collaboration and need some direction from a ton of different places. But yeah, all that to say is the future is very bright, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, we are living in excitement times, you know. Everything is changing so fast. So last question from the user perspective, let's say, because there's a lot happening right now, and I'm always amazed with the cases like this one, when Carrie Murphy, the founder of the Fabricant, a digital fashion house that designed, among other things, the first digital dress, which last year was sold for more than $9,000. He's convinced that this is the beginning of the trend that will become mainstream, but the question is different. How much would you spend for the digital stuff, and what wouldn't you buy? Never ever so far in digital world.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say my first instinct is I would not spend $9,000 on an item, a digital item. But then again, I buy things in Fortnite every day. So yeah, so that kind of contradicts it. But no, I think, especially as things evolve, like I know talking to like my parents, it's a lot for them to understand, like, how would you want to spend money on a digital item? But then I look at my nephew, and he would rather, if you give him the choice of let's go to Nike and pick out an outfit, or there's a Nike skin in Fortnite, he's choosing the skin in Fortnite every single time. So I think it's only going to be more and more kind of mainstream and acceptable to spend on digital versus physical.
Yeah, that's true. So one more question, because you inspired me with this story about parents. How do you explain them what you are doing for a living? In the simplest way, you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I first told them that I was not going to be doing marketing and was going to be working in Fortnite, they probably thought I was crazy. But then they saw that it was successful, and they came around to it. I tell my mom all the time that she used to ground me from my Xbox, and she was just holding me back. Just kidding with her. But yeah, no, I kind of tell them that, just like Ready Player One, or I'm blanking on the movie name, but with Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy, that's like the easiest way they understand it. Is they came to me one day and was like, "Oh, we just watched Free Guy, so that's kind of what you do?" And I'm like, a little, kind of. So it definitely is hard to explain, but they're getting it.
Yeah, it's even hard to explain when you're doing marketing stuff. So I imagine how difficult this is, you know. But I think that for them, as long as you earn physical money for a living from this, it's good enough to do it and to continue. So fingers crossed for your future collaborations. Let's hope that they're going to bring you a lot of fun and creativity, of course. So that's all from me, and thank you for this wonderful talk. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.